Hello and welcome everybody to our YouTube series on free agency. Each episode will look into the dealings within a single division, and if you like our content, please hit the like and subscribe button. It is free after all. And without further ado, we are going to head into the division of question. The AFC South. Now we're going to start off with the divisional champs because they've made some changes. They've made some re-signings. First of all, they traded with the Bengals for a 7th round pick, Joe Mixon.
Okay.
Upgrade in running back.
Yep. Yeah, but then doing a nice tandem too.
And then they've added some pieces on defense. Oh boy, have they. So they signed a 2-year, $49 million contract. That was a maximum value of $51 million and $48 million guaranteed with Danielle Hunter. So they got a bad man on the edge.
Absolutely.
Providing he can stay fit.
Oh, he will.
And then on the inside, they added Denico Autry.
Very good D lineman. Gives a lot.
Very good at D lineman. And then in the linebacker core, they've added Azeez Al-Shaair, who was playing very well for the Titans.
Good fit for their defense.
They added Jeff Okudah.
Yep, can revive his career of D'Amico.
And they added Mike Ford, CJ Henderson, Lonnie Johnson. So they're making the right moves. And as a Colts fan, this is only bad news, but you've got to judge them on their merits, and they look like they're going in the right direction. Yeah, Peter, sorry.
In free agency, I always look out for very underrated signings. Danielle Hunter is the big signing, and he and Will Anderson is going to form a very fearsome pass rush deal. At least on paper, it looks like it. And I think both guys play hard. They play very good. Danielle Hunter has a very good pass rushing record. I think he's had double-digit sacks the last 3 seasons or so. So he's a very uptrending player in terms of pass rush. I think last year he played quite a good amount of games, so injury issues are behind him on that front. A very underrated signing that they signed is this D tackle Foley Futukasi, who's a nose tackle.
Yeah.
And he is big against the run. And if he can help the defense improve and even being better against the run, watch out for the Texans. They're a dark horse team now, and adding more pieces via the draft will certainly make them very dangerous. And we could see an even better statistical year for CJ Stroud. Right now, based on their free agency signings and how, especially on the defensive side of the ball, sorry, and I might not change my mind. They're not losing this division. Sorry.
In my highly biased opinion, you're wrong, but we'll get to that a little bit later. Well, do you have some thoughts on this one? Because they've made some signings and they've made some, I think, very astute signings.
No, I think it's good all round. So obviously the addition of Danielle Hunter, and who does he have as his running partner? Zadarius Smith, I believe.
Will Anderson.
Will Anderson. Yeah, Will Anderson.
Third overall last year, defensive rookie of the year last year.
Yeah, so that's going to be like an insane combination. Will Anderson's only going to continue to grow. So that's going to be dangerous. I think a really good defense is what you need for a developing QB. That's pretty much already there.
So their 4 down linemen are Danielle Hunter, Denico Autry, Fatukasi, Will Anderson.
Look, see, and now Will doesn't have to worry about the run anymore. Will's now going to really tune in his pass rush.
Yep. So it's going to be, like I said, they're a team that's they're already on the rise, but now it's just taking that next step,
Hey, I got a hot take.
And they still got a draft to go through as well, so don't be surprised.
Bold prediction, Will Anderson in his second year, there's a very bold, early bold prediction right here, exclusive. It's going to be an all-pro and will have more sacks than Micah Parsons.
Yeah, I can see that happening. I actually think Micah Parsons is going to go down this year. Like he's going to be a down year for him.
And the reason why I say that's because Will Anderson is playing the game the right way. He plays the run. Teams don't just run at him because he can disrupt the run game. He will stop it at certain points. I wouldn't say that he's all the way there whereby you don't run to his side, but you're not gonna constantly get yards when you run at him, if that makes sense.
Yep.
All right, let's move on to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Or the Jaguars, as the Americans like to call it.
Jaguars.
So they have added Mitch Morse at center. Very good center.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think they overspent on Gabe Davis, even though it has a max value of $50 million over 3 years. So for the level of production, they probably have overspent. They franchise tagged Josh Allen with a non-exclusive tag. They added a very good defensive lineman, though, in Eric Armstead. So, thoughts on the Jaguars so far? They obviously added Mac Jones as a backup, who I think will be a good backup in Jacksonville compared to how he fared over New England. He'll be able to kind of rehabilitate his career. But Jaguars have made some good improvements, but have they made it because they lost Calvin Ridley, right? So have they made I think they've gone downgraded in wide receiver, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I agree with that. In the wide receiving core, I think they've downgraded in terms of their wide receiving core. Because Gabe Davis, they're banking on him having a renaissance, or maybe he fits their offense better. But I think that's an overpay there, because what he did in Buffalo, certainly, in my opinion, didn't warrant that type of money, that type of contract. Keeping Ezra Cleveland is a good move for them. Signing Mitch Morse also boosts the offensive line. Keeping Josh Allen is a good move because he's their best pass rusher, and he gets it done. He's productive. Signing Eric Armstead is also a very good move for them in terms of the defensive line. I think with Jacksonville clearly in the draft, they'll probably be looking at taking a wide receiver with their pick in the first round. Someone that can come in and have good chemistry with Sunshine, and sort of like hit it off, that type of thing, I would say it's a very underwhelming free agent class. Key signing is Mitch Morse. And Eric Armstead. Those are good pieces for them. But we'll see what they're doing. If they can have a good draft class, then they can certainly challenge to try and get the division back. But Houston's additions kind of outweighs theirs for now.
Yeah, no, I think Eric Armstead is he's going to act like a really good anchor for their defense, which is why I think they brought him in. This kind of seems like a typical, like, how I have beef with Trent Baalke as their GM. I've seen it happen before.
What did Trent ever do to you?
This is
let the people know.
No, because I think Harbaugh was onto something, and he lost that power struggle between Trent Baalke and Harbaugh, and they decided to go with Trent, and we all know what happened. Harbaugh should have been calling the shots of they probably would have had a Super Bowl by now if he was still there, but Trent Baalke won, and then 2 years removed from that, he was then booed out of the city. So with Trent Baalke, you'll get the good and the bad. Sometimes usually they come in pairs. So usually you have like someone like Eric Armstead, but then you overpay for someone like Gabe. Like that's like high-end receiver money, or near enough, like the yearly amount anyway. And you overpaid. So I'm not surprised Gabe Davis decided to sell his services. If someone's offering you that much, then by all means go get it. I think this regime anyway, like if they underperform this year with what they've got, it's just going to be a case of someone's going to have to be evicted from that building. I think it's serviceable, but it's both good and bad.
It's steps in the right direction, but there's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back kind of thing.
It's like forward and lateral. It's like a lateral step. You're going forward, but you're not really going vertical. You're kind of drifting to the side a little bit.
All right, let's move on to Tennessee Titans. So they added another quarterback to the quarterback room in Mason Rudolph, but he's going to be the backup.
Yep.
They added running back Tony Pollard on a 3-year, $24 million contract. Now,
well, Henry was going to go anyway. Like we all
Henry
knew
was
that.
going, so we knew that
Pollard's
was happening.
Not your guy, man.
But no, Pollard's not an
He's a
every
good
down back. He's not an every down back.
But exactly, that's it right there. He's not an every down back. When he was given the toll in Dallas, he couldn't do it. It wasn't like he didn't want to or the play designs weren't there. Well, he physically was not capable of toting the rock that many times per game. And you have to understand, he's never had to do that. Even when he was it? Oh no, sorry, I'm thinking of someone else. Sorry, I was thinking Penn State, but no, he never played at Penn State. But all I'm saying is that he's never been asked to do that. And what year is this for him now? Year 6, 7 in the league. So his body,
year 6.
Year 6. So the thing is, his body, his preparation. When you're an every down back in the league, the way you have to prepare for a game after a game is different. It's different to a guy that's a change of pace in a game. So you probably maybe touch the ball 7 to 8 times, 6 times. That's it.
If you look at him, he's had back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. But last year, he toted the rock over 250 times, compared to 190 times in the previous season, and he got 2 yards less with those 60-odd touches more.
Yeah.
Well, actually,
who's it?
Tony Pollard. So whether or not they're gonna have to get a thumper.
They're gonna have a guy. So maybe they'll draft someone else. They'll draft someone.
They could draft a thumper, so someone later on in the draft. You don't have to get them as an early round pick, right? They have to be something that's serviceable.
Yeah.
And then when you look at the most marquee signing that they have is the trade acquisition of L'Jarius Sneed.
Yes, L'Jarius Sneed, big move for them. Adding Calvin Ridley. I mean, they added very good NFL players in free agency. Yes, they paid the money. I think they had the cap room to make it happen.
$4 year, $50 million to Cushenberry at center.
Yep, and they paid $92 million, $50 million guaranteed Calvin Ridley. I mean, they had a lot of big money now in free agency this year. And the interesting thing is that in free agency, right? Here's my thing about free agency, right? If you're a team that is like close to championship contending, right, and you add these type of pieces, I get it. But I think we don't.
The Titans aren't there. Will Levis is.
But that's what I'm saying. They're not there. So,
is he the guy?
So when
is he?
So when you're splashing this cash, I know you're trying to help your guy. You're trying to develop the team. But I wonder if this is let's get a good team going to support Will Levis to develop, or let's just get good players in, because this is opposite to typically like building through and the Titans are in an interesting position there. And for me, I like their signings though, like especially the 2 cornerbacks they added, L'Jarius Sneed and Chidobe Awuzie. They will form a very good cornerback tandem. They've got a very good defensive line at the moment. And adding Lloyd Cushenberry to the offensive line is good. Now they go get themselves a left tackle. That's a big hole in their team, which I think they'll address in the draft. So good pieces. There'll be a good football team this year coming up based on the free agent signings. When you're giving out free agent grades, I think they're a clear winner in free agency. They added very good pieces.
They're a winner, but the thing is, there's still question marks about how they are at quarterback, even though they need to have some stability. So,
yeah,
it's whether or not they can do enough to. That's it. It's whether Levis can make that step up to prove that he's a worthy competitor in this division. This division is getting more difficult now.
It is, but then it's also will the class pay off? Because typically history tells us that when you spend this amount of money in free agency, then typically don't pan out. But these are good players. They've spent the money. Let's see if they can defy history and really have a good team. But these
All
are
right.
very good players they've added. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, there are some good players certainly indeed. All right, let's move on to the Indianapolis Colts. My Indianapolis Colts, and Ballard, true to form, almost ignored free agency. Just re-signed players. Grover Stewart, great re-signing. Kenny Moore, great re-signing. Tyquan Lewis, good re-signing. Lost Zach Moss, which was expected. Lost Gardner Minshew, expected. Added in Raekwon Davis, but that was about it. I can't really grade this because Colts haven't really done anything. There are holes in the team, but they're going to be addressed in the draft.
Yep, I mean, I think we've established this that Ballard is a built through the draft type of GM, but I think and looking at your draft class, you haven't really done anything. Mostly it's just resigning most of your own guys and adding one or two here and there.
One,
and Ballard,
literally one player that we've added.
Yeah, and Ballard typically is trying to build through the draft, which is the right move for your Colts because you had a bit of an inconclusive season in terms of Anthony Richardson. Now, like I said, typically he wants to build through the draft, right? But at some point,
you're gonna have to add those veteran players, yeah. You're gonna
exactly. So here's the thing. So I think the way Ballard builds is like if let's say this coming season, with Anthony Richardson, your Colts win 10+ games. Going into the off season, he'll actually go and find the pieces to complete it. Like that's because whenever you win 10+ games, you are now opening a championship window.
He hasn't seemed to have done that ever. He's always drafted them. Even when Andrew Luck, like he was here at the end of Andrew Luck's career as a GM, so it's a tough one. Colts haven't done enough, in my opinion. But lots of Colts fans think the same, and it's up to them now to really sort it out in the draft. But the draft is as much a lottery as free agency at times because not all of the draft picks always pan out. All right, let's